Hockey, hey girl. So listen, pay attention or whatever. Today, as we see, we are what, July, what, the third, the second. Um, we are realizing our community is morally bankrupt. Let's just be real. And for women, this is just for us. Keep your head on a swivel, hun. Real shit. Be careful, be mindful. Look around you, any man or woman, because it's a lot of women that we realize we not safe with because they real pick me's, and we're gonna get to that on the back end of this. But listen, any man that is cheering for this man, for Diddy, not being guilty on the first three, but he's guilty on two. They out here, oh, he free. No, he not. No, he not. Anyone that is cheering for this, get away from that person. I don't care if you married to him. Get away from that person. If you are with somebody and you have children with that person, take your kids and go. And I mean that with a straight face. This is a clear sign we are not safe. Look at the man that we have in office right now. You understand? Look at our vice president. Look at the way the world is going. Now, if we don't know history, then that's the problem because it repeats itself. Women are not safe. We saw what happened in Georgia with that beautiful queen, God bless her soul. They kept her as an incubator. They literally did an experiment on her. Okay, very much hands made tale. The third season, remember? They kept the girl alive just because she was pregnant. Yeah. People don't realize this world is going in the way of the handmaid's tale. And as for women like me, this ain't that. And we not going in this type of situation. We not just gonna go along to get along with this. Absolutely not. I'm telling every woman within an earshot of my voice. If you are hearing this, you are listening to this, please, um, filter it out because I'm just speaking from the heart. It may be a few, naughty words in here, one or two, three, four, 55, maybe. I'm a whole Sagittarius, so yeah, we ain't got no filter. And a December one at that. And I'm a West Coast girl on top of that. 323. Listen, please educate your daughters, educate your sons on life and how to interact with people and how to understand no means no, how to understand that everything don't go your way just because you're a man. Explain this situation to them. We know, let's be real, we know that the government screwed up. We know this. Why was the jury not sequestered in such a big trial like this? Do we really think that the jury wasn't got to? Because they proved the RICO. How many people work for him? How many people were setting this stuff up? This is the very reason that women do not come forward. This is the very reason that this man was allowed to be a monster for more than 30 years. The same way R. Kelly was able to do it. Why? Because he was doing it to Black women. That's why. If he had touched a snow bunny, do you understand how bad it would have went for R. Kelly? He would have been up out of here. You see what happened to old boy on the island. It wasn't nothing but snow bunnies. And you see what happened. Got him up out of here. You understand? Now, for all other communities that think they so much better than Black women and look at you. This was the case of minorities. You didn't see no snow bunnies in this case, did you? Did you? Because if you did, this would have went different. And I said what I said. Now back to these men that's out here celebrating and salivating. Get away from them. Leave them with the epidemic of male loneliness. Leave them alone. Leave them in a corner to scream by themselves. Get away, chick, run. Run now, run hard, run fast. Run like a Black woman in a scary movie. Do you hear me? BLL in that Michael Myers. Remember, he survived. Okay? BLL, run. Run and fight. Get out of this situation because any man that agrees with what Sean was doing is a dangerous man. Do you understand me? It's a danger to you and it's a danger if you have young girl, daughters, nieces. It's dangerous. This situation that we are seeing, and we're seeing it across social networks. There was a certain YouTuber, he don't understand what he just did to himself because he's extremely attention seeking. And I mean, everybody that does social media, you have to be attention seeking in one way or another, but I do believe that it's a way to do this particular part of a job or a career, but to do it with a moral compass, because I'm damn sure gonna do it with a moral compass. I was raised correctly. I literally unsubscribed. And he did so good during the trial. He made it funny, he made it entertaining. The funny part, you had to kind of bear with it, but he made it entertaining. And then what he did in front of that court today, out there jumping around, and you had another, what they say, OG YouTuber around here, a female black woman. She was right there with him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is this, and just know this gonna have more consequences on black creators than others. So pay attention and watch how this goes. Just watch how it goes. All of that good karma and good, that he had just drummed up for himself, it just went down the drain. It just went down the drain. This is never okay to celebrate what happened today. We know that the judicial system can be bought and purchased. We 100%, like, we know that. We know that the system can be bought, it can be purchased. We know that the system can be bought. We know that the system can be purchased. I mean, look what happened. Look what happened in with the videotape, with him stomping the life out of Cassie, whooping on her, right? Look how long it took for that to come out. Why? Because he paid for it. He paid for it. And that showed the racketeering right there. I believe that I've never seen this before because they have such a high winning percentile. They're like almost at 100%. They're like 98.2% or something like that in the winning percentile. And this was a Homeland Security case. So this is wild. People don't realize this was not a regular federal case. This was Homeland Security. So this is a wild situation that it even went like this from the get-go. This is why he didn't get released. Now, me knowing what I know and my dating history and the way I have dated, because baby, I only date up around here, respectfully. I was raised correctly, take that how you want to. But the way that I've dated the professional men, um, I had to call and ask a question to make sure I was right. Um, I knew that he wasn't going to be let go today. Diddy was not going home. I knew that. I knew that for a fact. I knew that the judge was hot because of how this verdict came back, because I feel like they should have dumped the whole jury and started the jury pool over again, and they can do that. It's a legal way to do it. They can do that. I believe that the jury should have been sequestered, and it wasn't. I believe that the ball was dropped on the prosecution side several times over. Several times over, the ball was dropped to the ground several times over. Um, because they proved their case, but they should have reiterated at the grand finale. They should have had a witness at the end to tie everything together in a bow, to let everybody know, because we gonna pretend like we don't know what he did to Kid Cudi. We're gonna pretend like he didn't do that. Exploding of a car, we're gonna just walk over that like this didn't happen. I think they did a poor job. This is the first time that I've really seen um or heard of, like, Homeland Security losing a situation like this, because they have cases like this internationally with Interpol's, where the United States and, you know, across the water, they link up together, and things are prosecuted, and Homeland Security is involved. People don't normally walk away from Homeland Security at all. So I look at this as a power structure type of situation. It's about it's about power. It, it's it's showing women that you mean nothing. You mean absolutely nothing in this world. That's what it's doing. It's 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 a harsh wake-up call for every woman that sees this. It's a harsh wake-up call for us. It's a harsh wake-up call letting us know that we got pick-me's amongst us. We got a bunch of pick-me's. We have people like a prime example, a Kiki Palmer. We know that she was getting her head knocked between a washer and a dryer. We saw her go flying down them stairs. We saw her get tossed over the back of that couch. But she's out here wanting to gloss over that and want us to forget that. No, 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 focus over here, focus over here. Oh, it was some of my fault. I'm putting out music. Listen, Kiki Palmer, the performer, she's gonna be fine because, baby, she's an actress and she's so talented, and she's so loved. But Lauren, the person, I think, is broken and lost. And if you pay attention to what she said to Auntie Bevy, your heart goes out to her because it's like you was told, it's like you were conditioned to accept less and to basically pay for a man's existence. Now, back to this Diddy situation, I would and real quick, just know we need to make sure that we separate ourselves from men that defend, women that defend bad men and behavior because they think that they're supposed to, or their self-esteem is so low that this is where they are in life. That's a whole nother subject. But the pick me energy we can't have it amongst us. And you might see across the screen right now of a picture from Handmaid's Tale. You better know, baby, I'm June. And I'm June in episode series number 6. Number 6, the end. The end where things start going boom. You know what I mean? I'm no, we this ain't that, and we not going. We not going. And this is where they're trying to put us as a society of women, especially Black women, because of how far we've came, how much we've accomplished. We are the most successful group of women of all women, and that's a fact. We are the most educated. Don't ever get that misunderstood. Recreate the most entrepreneurial millionaires. And that's a fact. Are we under attack as a community of Black women? Absolutely, with this new administration, and that's just true. Look at the senator who is facing charges. She was arraigned, and she was just there doing her job. And this is why she put her body in front of a man, the mayor. This is why you don't jump in front of a man to defend nothing. This is why we cannot do that. We cannot put ourselves in harm's way. The same thing that I said to Jasmine Crockett. And I got to see her in person and had a private conversation. And I love that woman. The same way that we protect Auntie Maxine Waters. It's time to protect ourselves. I would say, women, with this verdict, and you hearing this and you seeing all these men out here, you seeing the way that they're reacting to things. Our community is morally bankrupt. And this is just a conversation that we don't want to have. We are like our oppressor now. There's no way. Like, it's certain stuff that's happening where you be in the kitchen and you hear the news and you wouldn't come out to see who it was because you knew it wasn't our community. Now you got to come out and see who it is. That's the sad part. That's the quiet part out loud. None of this was okay. This man was beating. This man was beating women and men. Women and men. And for the men that's celebrating, are you trying to go to the freak off for a little piece of fame? Are you giving up Boonchi? And I mean, it has spread everywhere in our community, and it is a power situation. They don't want to go get a man that already is into that lifestyle. They want to make a man who's not into that lifestyle. Look at the situation with Tyler Perry. Look at that. And I'm sorry, he hid behind women. You think straw coming out and all of the talk about, oh, he may be liking, Taraji P. His baby, please. Taraji and the pick me of all pick me, Sherry Shepherd, baby. She is a case study. Sherry is a case study on being a pick me, baby. She got to be studied. She got to be studied. But do you think that Tyler Perry didn't know that his lawsuit was coming out and it was going to affect women, and the women around him was going to have to answer for whatever sins he may or may not have? And I want to congratulate Baller Alert for putting out the letter that they put out. I think it was bold and honest because how many decades have we been hearing this stuff about Tyler? I mean, at this point, our community know what it is. It's no different than a church. He's literally the organ player or the choir leader. And we know what be popping with them. We know what be popping with Deacon Thornton. We know how he really moved. We know what's popping with Deacon Perry. And the crazy part is, ain't none of the men gonna have the boldness, Black men that is, gonna have the boldness that a Cassie had. Cassie came out after all these years and where she felt safe enough. And people gotta understand, Cassie went to Homeland Security. That should tell you how much fear this girl had. She didn't go to the FBI, CIA. She listen, she didn't go to none of the regular alphabet boys, the regular police, because he owned them. He owned them. And everybody know here in my backyard of Cali, the police, if you got the bread, baby, you can get fed. And I leave that there. You know what we know around here. Any man that is celebrating this, women, please. I don't care how long you've been with them, run. Get away from him. Get away from him. That man will harm you if he ain't already. This is a slap in the face to the the DV community, and I'm wondering, where are all of the DV organizations? Why have they not been speaking out? Letters and because normally they'll speak out. They spoke out with Blake and all them, didn't they? Didn't you see that Blake Lively ish? Yeah. See, I keep telling black women and women, and the air quotes, women of color, anything that ain't bleach, anything that ain't white, they don't give about you, and you'll never be better than black women, honey. They don't. They do not care. Okay. And Cassie, they look at her like a dirty black woman. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. And if you think, and then we got Carisha. I mean, we got the rocket scientist herself. I'm so disgusted with this whole situation. Bear with me, y'all. I ain't following none of my notes. I'm just speaking from the heart. Listen, this situation with Carisha, baby, she's a whole rocket scientist. And baby, we already know what's going on with the school systems down there in Dade County. And I mean, did you see, and sidebar, do y'all see what's happening with the election in Miami? They stopping the election. They're moving the election to 2026. Do y'all see this? This is Gilead. And everybody's sitting around letting that happen. Baby, the streets of Miami should be full. Y'all should be down there letting them know what time it is. But then again, it's Miami. It's Florida. It's Florida for you. But back to little Miss Rocket Scientist. Carisha, you see when the verdict came in, you see what she did, the post she put up. The post she put up, like, yeah. Who in their right mind don't know that Freaky Friday is another word for freak offs? Go online, go do a little search on that. Little Miss Piss on Me. Okay. R. Kelly would have loved her, baby. Big facts. Big facts. And she got a daughter that she raising and a son. Now you know what happened to the son's father. Rest in peace. But Southside, what you doing? Obviously, she ain't got no type of common sense. None. She has none. If I'm a man and I have a child with her, oh, my child, because I'm a West Coast hitter at this point, if I was a man, my child coming with me permanently, and you gonna have supervised visitation only. And I said what I said. Anybody in their right mind watching how Carisha moved and the little stuff she been posting, baby, she ready to get pissed on again. And that's anything for money. We are morally bankrupt. She wasn't raised right, but I mean, think about it again. Her mama went to jail for what? Didn't she go to jail for like what they say, what the word was around the curb? Stealing Michael Kors purses and stuff. She don't have no type of home training. We can tell this. She ain't got no common sense and no home training. And Carisha was actually my favorite. I actually liked her the most before she even started dealing with this old man. She threw her career away. You see, her career is nothing now. Nothing. She running on fumes because he used her. She not even, she don't even have the wherewithal to know that he used her. He used her for her energy, for her likeness, for her likability, her popularity with the public, her standing in our community. Like, everybody's like, yeah, she a city girl. They loved it. You think he didn't plot and plan that out because he needed a cover, because he knew that this was coming? And he went to jail, and what was left of her career? Remember, she dropped. She dropped from the label. She ain't got nothing going. She doing club appearances. We see what's happening here. We see. He left her for DOA. Didn't care, because he do not. That man don't give a damn. That man do not give a damn. And you want us to believe that he didn't change his ways with all these women. Rest in peace to the beautiful Kim Porter. She was talked about in this trial, and they glossed over that. That's why I said the prosecution did a horrible job. A horrible job at this. It was rushed. Remember, Diddy rushed the trial. He was smart because he didn't want them to, dig too much. Gene Deal been telling y'all who this man was. Been telling y'all. We've been knowing for years who he was. Come on, look at all the stuff we done heard. Before Cam and Mace, started being friendly again. What Mace say? What Cam said about what he saw at the house? What was on the counter? It's the whole, like, we gonna pretend like we don't know that this man has been a monster for decades. He got daughters. You know what I mean? He got daughters. Imagine, like, and then just think about it. If the judge was not aware of what was happening, if the judge was to let him go free today, which he didn't, thank God, the judge got some common sense. If he was able to go free today, how many people do you think are in danger? How many accidental sicknesses do you think gonna come up? How many coroners gonna come up missing after that catch? How do y'all think this gonna play out? Like, let's be for real. Let's really be for real. And I feel like the prosecution dropped the ball because they didn't have a proper um DV therapist there. They should have had a therapist that specialized in DV, specialized in human trafficking. These are areas that I have training in, so I know what I'm talking about. I was shocked that they didn't have one that was their area of specialty. They should have had a doctor there that specialized in all of the different syndromes, the battered woman syndrome, that because Cassie, she exhibited all of that. Cassie is not healed at all, baby. When she was on that stand, the way that she was speaking, when she said, "Oh, but she still loved him," she, like, the way that she spoke about him, no, that woman is eternally changed. She'll never be the person she was supposed to be. And that's what happens when you get beat on. You're never the person you're supposed to be. It changes you forever. Forever. It's a life altering situation. I look at this and all of the things that was happening. You look at Little Miss Philippines. Shout out to 50 baby mama. Okay? Look at Little Miss Philippines. Look at all of the stuff she was doing. Look at everything she admitted to. Look at all this sick stuff that this man was doing. And you got men out here celebrating that because it's dominance over a woman and it's abusing a woman like an object. Like, not even a human being, not even a person. And for women, please, I think the person that had the most out loud correct thing that was said, I seen a post from Auntie Lunel, but I mean, I don't expect nothing less because Auntie Lunel she from Cali, she from Cali, she from Oakland, so Old Town raised her, and she knew about pimping and hoeing and all that. She understand all that. But like she said, women are in trouble right now with this verdict. Women are in trouble. And this is true. And this is just showing women in the industry. It's so many women that wanted to come forward after this, and prosecute different people because he ain't the only one doing this. These women are running back in the shadows now. Why didn't the prosecution have all of the plastic surgeons and the doctors that fixed up Cassie's wounds? You understand what I'm saying? They dropped the ball. This is the prosecution's fault. They dropped the ball. But I'm praying that this judge, and I think it's gonna go like that because this judge did not release him. This judge scolded him like, you out your mind. The judge did not release him. And I think the judge is pissed at the jury. The judge didn't release him, and just know, the one charge that he got charged with, there's no limitation on the sentencing. I'm thinking that the judge finna OJ this situation. I think the judge gonna hit him with a 20-piece, 4 biscuits, and 3 sides. Real talk. I think the judge gonna hit him with 20 and above. Honestly, he already damn near 60. So I think the judge gonna make sure when he get out that he old and feeble and completely irrelevant. I think the judge is going to OJ this situation. And when I say OJ, y'all know when he went to jail, he ain't go to jail for what the charge was. He went to jail for what they couldn't get him for the first time. You understand? So I think that the judge is gonna be the saving grace for women. I think the judge gonna make this right. and the judge gonna lock him up for a long time. But do I think the prosecution dropped the ball? Absolutely. Absolutely. They did a horrible job, and I've never seen them do something like this. And I've watched, because of my dating history, I know a lot about this particular subject, and I know the research and things that go into this. And yeah, I just feel like they were underprepared. They didn't call enough witnesses. They didn't ask enough questions to make sure that the RICO was locked in. They showed it, and it's the thing, the same way that the Democratic Party assumes that the public knows everything and people are willfully stupid in 2025. I think the prosecution did the exact same thing. They banked on people knowing that this was a RICO because of everybody that was working for him and doing what he told them to do. They didn't outline the RICO enough. They didn't. They just banked on the public knowing and not realizing that people are willfully stupid. People are willfully stupid. Like willfully stupid. You have people that are literally saying like he's not guilty on all charges. He gonna go home. And I was like, did they not hear that he's guilty on two? One of the two, there's no limitations on sentencing. The other one, the limitation is 10 years. Y'all, like, the reporting. And then I will say there's a girl that I like, and she was reporting, but I think she went a little overboard because she spread around the internet that, the prosecution had dropped charges. Oh, they dropped charges, she sound crazy and she sound dumb because they didn't drop charges. What they did was they narrowed in the scope. They narrowed in the scope, and they excluded California because they're in New York. They narrowed it in because they realized too late that, oh my God, this jury is stupid. These people are willfully stupid. That was the whole point of them narrowing everything in. And they realized they should have, in closing arguments, they should have done different things, meaning they should have pointed out the RICO, each charge, they should have made each charge clear because he did each charge. He actually did. And it was shown in court, but it was just poorly, poorly, poorly prosecuted. The prosecution did a horrible job, and I'm expecting some heads to roll. I will be paying attention to see if any of these, if they get demoted, as far as the lawyers that prosecuted this, if they get kind of put in timeout, if they don't get any more big cases. I think some heads are gonna roll inside of Homeland Security because it's not a good look for them. They don't like losing, they don't like being, bullied. And I will say this, if he don't get a long sentence, um him, his enterprise, his family, his money, they'll never be safe. I'll tell you this, the government will find a way. And just wait, y'all gonna hear about some tax stuff. The government is going to find a way to strip him of every dime that he has because they don't like getting embarrassed. They don't like it at all. Go back and do a little research. They don't like getting embarrassed at all. I just would say this, for any woman um that is breathing right now, you see what is happening to us, you see the way of our administration right now. um Go get you some training from a Navy SEAL retired or a Marine retired. Get you some MMA training. You want hand-to-hand combat training, you need to get that ASAP. If you are in a situation where you can be licensed to carry, um go get licensed. Go get licensed, and you need to be prepared and ready and able to defend yourself. The world we live in is dangerous for us. And to the women within that industry, the entertainment industry, my heart goes out to y'all because I know how many of y'all this and worse has happened to, and it's happening to somebody right now, men and women. This Tyler Perry situation is horrible. The same thing, the Fat Joe situation. Look at it. You see how the similarities in each one of these cases, you see the similarities are there. This is not a one off. This is how it operates in Hollywood. This is what it is. So be careful. Everything that glitter ain't gold. And all these women that y'all praising and, oh, they got this Hermes bag and that Hermes. What did you do to get it? What portion of yourself did you sell? Has your soul left your body yet? That's the real question. that you need to be asking. Stop worshiping these online travel girls, because now y'all know what they do. You can't pretend like you don't know what's been happening with them. You see it. Just remember, I'm the start, you to finish. I didn't follow none of my notes. I'm gonna be mad at myself, but I just spoke from the heart. This is devastating. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. My heart goes out to Cassie, who stepped forward and told, what actually, happened to her and what she experienced, because she'll never be able to live that down. This is something that's gonna stick with her for forever. And I pray that, her circle of family keeps her lifted, because this wasn't easy to come forward and tell these details. Okay. This was disgusting. This was despicable. And pay attention to YouTubers, and the way that they present this, the way that they celebrate this. Pay attention, and you have to have some type of moral compass, you know. To women, we have to protect each other, and we got to believe each other, and we got to call each other on BS when we see it. And we have to be able to walk and chew gum and understand that consent is a gray area now, and it's been a gray area. Um, we live in a world where we are not safe, and that's just reality. In the US, women are not safe, especially Black women. And I'm going to come back and talk about how many Black women and girls that are missing right now, and it's getting no media coverage. We're having to do it ourselves online. Um, I'm gonna start, you to finish. You disagree with anything I'm saying, go do research on it for yourself to figure it out. Don't be willfully stupid. I will see y'all on the next one. Thank you to the 160K that have came around here and viewed my videos and things. I'm really grateful. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to build a community around here. And this was just a somber day for women in justice. And I pray that the judge does the right thing. And I believe he will, because he did not release him today. And that is a very good sign. That's a good sign that he finna get hit with NBA numbers.